看到没？
This year, Sunshine Rose grapes have completely crashed. It used to be called Sunshine Rose, but now we call it Sunshine Tears. Look at this high-quality produce. No one wants it. Vendors are shouting, 10 yuan for 1.5 kilos. How can farmers survive with prices like this?
Sunshine Rose grapes have crashed to rock bottom. Check out Grape Street here. These days, forget selling by the kilo. If you've got volume, bring it. Big brands are crumbling, unloading boxes like crazy. We're not talking 2 or 3 yuan anymore. It's 15 to 25 yuan a box now. The market's flooded. You can't keep up. It's not even local stuff anymore. It's mostly outside shipments, and prices are still tanking.
This year, the worst performing fruit is probably Sunshine Rose. It just hit the market, and now you can find it everywhere for just over 4 yuan per kilo. They say watermelons are bad this year, but Sunshine Rose is worse. At this rate, the whole truckload is just 2 yuan each. The vlogger said that this year, those growing and selling Sunshine Rose grapes are not only not making a profit, they're probably not even covering their costs. This fruit, once a high-end item, once sold for over 20 yuan per kilo, but it's now facing a complete market reshuffle. Since the start of the year, China's premium fruits have seen prices plummet, with Sunshine Rose grapes falling from a peak of 600 yuan per kilo to less than 6 yuan per kilo. Many farmers are facing huge losses. I thought the brutal reality of Sunshine Rose for 2024 would end there, but I didn't expect 2025 would be even worse. A farmer explains that even when selling the early crop of Sunshine Rose, which still has a good taste and crisp texture, the prices remain unsatisfactory. Compared to previous years, not only have prices dropped, but sales have also decreased. Due to the broader market environment, the demand for Sunshine Rose has shrunk significantly, and prices are all over the place. Despite having good quality, it's hard to sell at a good price. Many farmers have lost hope. After selling their crops, some are even pulling out their trees. She says that a good greenhouse requires an investment of at least 30,000 yuan per acre, excluding labor costs. But now, with the market in such a slump, the grapes are sold for just a few yuan per kilo. Even after selling everything, it still doesn't cover their labor costs, and they end up losing money. For farmers, this is a harsh reality. In the past, Sunshine Rose was considered a luxury fruit, but now it's one of the lowest grade fruits. Recently, Chen Yu, an e-commerce vendor selling grapes in Liangshan, Sichuan, told Cover News that this year, Sunshine Rose grapes are struggling in the market, with prices down by a third compared to last year. Yet sales are half of what they were last year. The price of Sunshine Rose grapes has dropped dramatically to below 10 yuan per kilo, with many e-commerce platforms. Lower quality Sunshine Rose grapes are being sold for as low as 6 yuan per kilo. Sunshine Rose grapes originally came from Japan, with the most famous variety being Qingwang. 1988, they were cultivated by crossing the Akitsu 21 and Shironama varieties, and were introduced to China in 2006. After being brought into China, the grapes, which were translucent and have a rose-like fragrance, were nicknamed Sunshine Rose. It wasn't until 2014 that large-scale cultivation began in Bingchuan County, Yunnan. At its peak in 2015, the market price of Sunshine Rose grapes exceeded 600 yuan per kilo, earning the nickname the Hermes of grapes. With the advent of greenhouses and pesticides, Bingchuan and other regions like Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Shanghai, and Anhui began growing the fruit. With a closer proximity to markets and lower transportation costs, the advantages became clear. From 2015 to 2017, it was the golden age for Sunshine Rose, with prices typically above 400 yuan per kilo. Now, however, the prices have collapsed, and farmers have suffered huge losses. The reason for the price drop is an oversupply, with demand not matching production. However, who doesn't want to taste a good grape? Even with prices falling, sales haven't picked up, indicating that the cost is largely due to consumption downgrading. People simply don't have money in their pockets. No matter how cheap it is, they won't buy, or they will buy less. It's not just grapes that are seeing price reductions. Winter jujubes, seafood, pork, and other products have also dropped in price.
We're losing big time. Nothing's selling, no matter what we do. High-quality goods, not moving. Low-quality ones, same deal. The good stuff's actually bleeding us worse. This year, the whole market's just rough.
According to international reports on fruits and vegetables, this year's winter jujubes from Shanxi's Dali County were launched in late May, half a month earlier than usual. However, prices have been in a concerning downward trend. Some growers say the price has already hit historic lows. By mid-June, the price at the production site had dropped significantly to around 40 yuan per kilo. Since then, it has continued to fall, and now it remains at less than 20 yuan per kilo. The price decline has not been steady, but has accelerated. And compared to the same period last year, it is much lower. Last year at this time, the production price was stable, at under 30 yuan per kilo. From a broader perspective, since mid-June, the price of Dali winter jujubes has been on a fluctuating downward trend. On July 10th, the price was reported at about 15 yuan per kilo, marking a cumulative drop of 15.9%, nearly 30% lower than in previous years. Dali County in Shanxi is a major producer of winter jujubes, with about 280 square kilometers of land dedicated to their cultivation, most of which is greenhouse cultivation. It's the largest in the county, with an annual production of more than 500,000 tons. According to the Daily Business Report, after Li Xingbing graduated from university in 2018, he returned to his hometown and entered the winter jujube industry in Dali. After 7 years of hard work, he established a mature supply chain, secured sales channels with chain supermarkets like Walmart and Qiandama, and even managed a 7-acre winter jujube cold storage base. However, when discussing this year's market situation, Li's mood immediately dropped. He estimated that this year's revenue would shrink by at least 30%, and with 30-plus employees depending on the company for livelihood, the pressure was unprecedented. He explained that due to both market saturation and the impact of downgraded consumption, the final result was a sharp decrease in goods flow and a significant decline in sales. Seafood is also facing price drops.
Shrimp prices are too high for anyone to buy, but when they get cheaper and cheaper, no one wants to sell. Basically, at around 140 per kilo, the whole market collapsed. After a while, they'll definitely get very, very cheap. The big shrimp market is in a slump. Seriously, even the water isn't worth anything. I haven't seen this kind of market in over 10 years. I can't sell them. They're impossible to sell. It's too difficult. Normally, big shrimp that used to cost 80 to 100 yuan per kilo, this year, even 20 yuan a kilo no one wants to buy.
Fishermen revealed that the price of large shrimp continues to drop, and the seafood market has collapsed, with a loss of 7 yuan per kilo. According to China Economic Net, in August, a variety of shrimp products, including bamboo shrimp, South American white shrimp, and Penaeus monodon, flooded the market in Shanghai, reaching a yearly low in price. At a farmer's market in the Songjiang district of Shanghai, sellers said that now is the best season for shrimp, with prices for many varieties being about half of what they were in the winter. Aquaculture traders mentioned that the current price for prawn is 44 yuan per kilo, grass shrimp is 70 yuan per kilo, and giant freshwater prawns are 56 yuan per kilo, significantly lower than the prices during the winter. Ms. Li noted that she had clearly observed a drop in prices for both sea fish and shrimp. Hangzhou Daily reported that in Hangzhou, Zhejiang, the price of Penaeus monodon dropped to 54 yuan per kilo, half of last month's price. White prawns are now 36 yuan per kilo, hitting the year's lowest. One stall owner mentioned that recently the price of Penaeus monodon dropped drastically. Last month it was selling for 100 yuan per kilo, but this month the price has halved. The price of white prawns, which were most expensive at the beginning of the year, has now dropped by more than 30%. According to the media center at Zhengcheng District, Guangzhou, merchants at Xingfa Market reported that after the fishing season opened, some seafood prices dropped by 20 to 30%. Currently, the prices for various seafood are as follows: mantis shrimp at 56 yuan per kilo, 9-segmented shrimp at 100 yuan per kilo, and turbot fish at 70 yuan per kilo. Among the high-priced seafood, shellfish have the lowest prices, with white clams at just 6 yuan per kilo and flower clams at 48 yuan per kilo. It's not only seafood and winter jujubes, even pork prices have dropped drastically. The topic of pork entering the 9 yuan era trended on social media platforms. In major northern pork-producing regions like Hebei, Shandong, and Henan, pork prices have dropped below 14 yuan per kilogram, with the lowest reported at 12 yuan per kilogram in Xinjiang.
猪价这波低迷期实在太长了。
The current slump in pork prices has lasted far too long. We, the pig farmers, just can't hold on anymore. Do you know who will be the first to give up? Today, I received the latest internal news. A large free-range company has already stopped its free-range business. To put it bluntly, they've just given up, as they're losing money. With the current pork prices, basically, all free-range companies are losing money. The vlogger explained that internal calculations in free-range companies shows that each pig is losing 60 to 100 yuan. If pork prices stay this low, most free-range companies will collapse sooner or later. The recent drop in pork prices is just too severe. The national average price for live pigs has dropped, which is more than a third lower than last year's prices. The pig-to-feed ratio has also dropped below the 6-to-1 warning line. The pig-to-feed ratio refers to the ratio between the national average price for live pigs and the average wholesale price of second-grade corn in major wholesale markets. The pig-to-feed ratio is calculated as the price of a live pig divided by the price of wholesale corn. This ratio is one of the warning indicators used to predict future market prices for live pigs. As of August 21st, the national average price of crossbred live pigs has dropped to $13.82 per kilogram, a 4.2% decrease compared to the previous period. In many northern regions, prices have fallen below $13. Data from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs show that by mid-August, the average factory price index for lean meat-type pork in 16 provinces was 18.8 yuan per kilogram, a 0.8% decrease from the previous year, and a 34.8% year-on-year decrease. The decline is continuing to widen. Chinese media reports that industry analyst Xia Chengfeng believes that in the short term, pork prices will continue to fluctuate at low levels. As the supply pressure eases towards the end of the month and the weather cools, consumption might improve slightly. However, the weak supply-demand balance is unlikely to reverse, and any price rebound is expected to be limited. Although, on August 21st, the National Development and Reform Commission confirmed that it would begin purchasing frozen pork reserves, with the China National Reserve Center announcing a 10,000-ton competitive bidding for frozen pork on August 25th. However, the situation is still challenging. The reserve pork will meet national standards for frozen lean pork of domestic grade 2 and 4. A pig trader in Heilongjiang directly stated, "Pigs are 2.4 yuan per kilogram cheaper than standard pigs, and the reserves won't save the market." Amid losses throughout the industry, farmers who purchase piglets are losing more than 200 yuan per pig. Even more concerning is that national frozen pig inventory has surged to a historic high of 78%. A cold storage owner in Zhengzhou admitted, "Front leg meat won't even sell at 17 yuan per kilogram. We can only discount it and try to offload it." A blogger familiar with the pig farming industry shared, "In recent days, the drop in pig prices has been alarming. The net profit per pig has shrunken by about 140 yuan. Life's really tough right now. Why has the price dropped so drastically?" The first reason is that large pig farming groups like Mu Yuan have started to offload pigs quickly. For example, their pig's average weight has dropped to 123 kilograms. With more pigs flooding the market, prices have fallen. The second reason is weak consumption, where the market has essentially frozen. The slaughterhouse operating rate has dropped 26%. And in Beijing, pork is piling up. It can't be sold because no one's buying, so naturally, pig prices are under pressure. The third reason is related to policy. Authorities are pressuring the industry to reduce stockpiles, and those involved in secondary fattening are hesitant to enter the market. The once available backup force has disappeared, which contributes to the price drop. Secondary fattening refers to the practice where pig farmers buy healthy pigs that are ready for market, then continue to raise them to increase their weight. The goal is to earn a profit from the price difference when pork prices rise. That with the peak sales season of September and October still some time away, the ongoing off-season for pork consumption may cause prices to continue fluctuating, with downward pressure remaining. He said in the short term, there might be some market pressure for pigs to be sold, which will also affect prices. Given the current situation, the industry's capacity control may remain strong, and maintaining pork prices could become a long-term task.
姐妹们，天都塌了！去年16000上车买的房，不到1年的时间。
Last year, we bought a house for 16,000 yuan per square meter, and now, less than a year later, it's already dropped to 12,000 yuan. That's a pure loss of 400,000 yuan. My husband and I feel heartbroken. We're shattered, and I can't think about it without feeling really bad. Much attention to market conditions. As a result, they rushed to buy the house in less than a week, from viewing to finalizing. Now they regret it deeply, and they're still burdened with the mortgage. She advises her followers, especially in the current economic environment, that earning a few $100,000 a year is really difficult, so when making big purchases, they should be extra cautious.
我已经3个月降了330万了，是很诚心的降。
I've already dropped the price by 3.3 million yuan in 3 months. This is a very sincere price. This homeowner is bargaining with the agent, having already reduced the price of her property multiple times. Her house is in excellent condition, in a prime area of Shanghai, with a view of the city's iconic buildings from the window. It's only 100 meters from the Shanghai Metro Line 10, and right downstairs is a food street. Within 200 meters are a mall and the Bulgari Hotel. Now in China, prices are falling across the board. Besides the aforementioned items, cars and food delivery services are also cheaper. But it's not a good thing. It's a sign of deepening deflation. The widespread price drops in the market are the most harmful part of deflation. They don't just make things cheaper, they also devalue your assets while your debt remains unchanged. A blogger explained that it's like a person being thrown into the water with their hands and feet bound. The more they struggle, the faster they sink. Now are lowering prices, but a 30% price cut has actually led to even slower sales. Real estate companies are offering 30% off, but still there are no buyers. Supermarket shelves are filled with buy one get 3 free promotions, yet the stores remain empty. This isn't about consumption downgrading. It's about the entire society's cash flow drying up. In response to deflation, CCP leader Xi Jinping once said, "What's wrong with deflation? Doesn't everyone like lower prices?" Radio Free Asia reported that French current affairs commentator Wang Longmeng pointed out that Xi Jinping's lack of understanding of this issue will only cause the deflation crisis to continue spreading. Wang said that such a naive comment shows that as the country's leader, Xi Jinping has no economic knowledge or understanding. He doesn't even realize that deflation is more dangerous than inflation. Although prices for goods may be lower, people will delay purchases, expecting prices to fall even further. This weak consumption leads to a chain reaction. Businesses make less money, unemployment rises, income inequality increases, and eventually it leads to social unrest and a political crisis. Bloomberg reported earlier this year that China has failed to break the deflationary cycle and is currently experiencing its longest overall price decline since the 1960s. Major Wall Street banks such as JP Morgan and Citigroup also predict that deflation will last at least through 2025, a situation not seen since the end of Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward movement. This trend has worsened under Xi Jinping's leadership. Deflation could become the economy's invisible killer. People expect prices to keep falling, so they delay purchases, which reduces business profits. This leads to wage cuts, layoffs, and reduced investment. Unemployment causes consumers to cut back on spending, which further drives prices down in a vicious cycle.